Look, listen. Now I'm going to ask you this question. How do you recognize a true apparition from a fake one? First of all, Virgin Mary is not interested into great theologians. She is interested into simple, hearty, and sensitive people who could spread her message without much fanfare. So you recognize it if it retains this simplicity. Furthermore, I've shown you these messages from various parts of the world which are consistent, and if you think about it, it's a great sign. Then I broke them down into many more subjects: the third secret of Fatima, the Antichrist, the Church, the world elite, the 3 days of darkness, the warning, into 100 subjects, and in each one of them the content falls in line. But one could say, if someone has studied the messages as well as you did, he could pretend to be a visionary and make them up. So people fall into panic and say, we need a theologian to see which ones are real and which ones are not. It doesn't work like that. At all, doesn't work like that. I will read you other messages. Tony Raggetta, Apparitions Lecce, 2013. During many years of life and history of Earth, I have used humble and poor people with a big heart, ready to face everything. The faith I ask for is simplicity. Giampilieri, Sicily, 2013. It's lack of simplicity which is hiding your soul from you and prevents you from working for your own progress. The simple soul expands in front of God and it's receptive to your love. The complicated soul twists on itself, shuts itself in, and prevents God from penetrating it. This message is very clear. It explains a sort of operating physiology of the soul, which is so you do not need hierarchies nor institutions to tell you whether it's true or not. Another message, El Escorial, Apparitions from Spain, 1981. Seek to be simple. It's the only thing which will save you from the wiles of the devil. My child, be humble and simple. We get to understand the apparitions by remaining true to simplicity. And I'll give you other dots to connect. As I said before, the message is delivered through very simple people who have no ambition, and it is consistent in several parts of the world. The second dot to connect is easy. It's written in the Gospel, a tree is known by its fruit. If someone like me was a violent person, keeping on getting into fights, and then someday he visits a place of apparitions, and from that day on he doesn't get into fights with anyone anymore, well, the fruit is good, the tree is good, and the apparition is authentic. I would say you have been routed well, fortunately. Third dot to connect. I've got some footage of certain solar pulsations in Brazil, in the apparitions of Jacare, in Spain, El Escorial, in Medjugorje, Bosnia, in Cusia, Calabria, Italy, in Trevignano Romano, Rome. I've got this footage which has been also analyzed and it is authentic. They have analyzed some of these videos carefully. In other messages, in other videos, there are some testimonials. You see the very people amazed while looking at the pulsating sun and pointing at the sky, so these are indisputable files. One more dot to connect. In some apparition sites, some recoveries took place which science could not explain, and also in this case, I'll tell you a few examples. And I invite all people who are listening or who will listen to pay attention. a child from Como had a very severe case of bacterial meningitis. The doctors were about to give him up for dead. He is healed thanks to the apparitions of Paratico in Brescia's province. I have already talked about it in another episode, so watch my other videos. Again, in these apparitions, the Holy Mother has given us many signs. A 43-year-old man had a lot of 3 millimeters and a half kidney stones in his left kidney. He had also a 6 millimeters kidney stone in his right kidney, and he was in excruciating pain. He called the visionary of Paratico and asked him to pray. The very next morning the pains were gone. He had the ultrasound and everything was gone away. He had no kidney stones anymore. In Spain, a 19-year-old girl, Maria Yolanda Barrera, had a stomach cancer. The doctors gave her 6 months to live. They wanted her to have an operation anyway, because there was nothing to lose. So let's try. However, these are hopeless operations. Her mother and her aunt used to go to the apparitions of El Escorial. Coincidentally, Our Lady gave a blessing right on the sick in the hospital. These two women didn't know what to bless. They didn't have some objects to bless, so they picked up 2 stones from the ground. Meanwhile, Holy Mary was giving her blessing. They lifted them up to the sky to bless them. They went to the hospital, and before the operation, the aunt of this girl passed this stone over her stomach gently. Then came the doctor. She got her to surgery. He opened up her stomach and saw that the cancer was gone. The doctor was shocked and got out of surgery speechless. I'm talking of doctors, all right? Not of random people. Messina, Sicily. A woman had a very dangerous colloid nodule. Doctors, both from Messina and Rome, said that they needed to do surgery, but they also said that she would lose the ability to speak after surgery. And that's what happened. After surgery, she couldn't talk anymore. So this woman went to Giampilieri, a place of apparitions in Sicily. Earlier I read a message from that place. Then what happened? That woman could talk again. Even the doctors, both from Messina and Rome, were stunned, and they couldn't give any explanation. Paola Albertini is a visionary from Pedroba, Treviso, Veneto. She went to the USA. There was a 4-year-old brain-damaged child. So this child had very severe brain issues and also physical problems since he couldn't move. He used to live in a pram too. I've got the footage of what I'm telling you, all right? This visionary has laid her hands on this child and he, in front of many people, many witnesses, all right, he started to crawl, and after a few minutes he stood up and began to walk. I will read you this message, which is the perfect end for this conversation we have just had. Michelino Marcovecchio, Apparitions, Mount St. Onofrio, Umbria. My son has given you the intelligence in order to be able to understand, to be able to listen, but children, you are comfortable with the darkness. So I will end with that. In order to understand which ones are the authentic apparitions, all you need is a little of simplicity, some study, and you do not need absolutely great theologians. Combine this evidence I've just told you, and you cannot go wrong. She's a little harsh when she says you are comfortable with the darkness. It's as if somehow she wanted to really say you basked inside this stuff. You've also underestimated yourselves, right? She implied that, I guess. Yes, look, Virgin Mary also admonishes his sons because when they don't understand and they keep going on the wrong path, the admonition is necessary because there is no other way, and it's also the truth. Anyway, she said that you are comfortable with the darkness, and we see it. There is no sign which could change the minds of a lot of people, and the signs are clear.